Hello and welcome to the original Until Dawn by Supermassive. The original was a 2015 release, and this is a music-only playthrough. And of course, I will still talk, but definitely not over the top of music we've already heard. So if music has been heard before and music has already looped, then I'll actually start talking over it like I have now with this menu music. Before I actually start a new story, there's also some music in a video that you unlock if you get all the collectibles. So I want to play that video at the top of the stream before starting again because it'll get rid of all the content that I unlocked in Phase 1 playthrough that I did a few months ago. Welcome everyone to the stream. For those who thought there might have been a problem with their sound, be rest assured there isn't. I've got the music turned off. I've got the sound effects and dialogue turned off on purpose. Thank you for the welcome back, Not Fry, Spectrum, and Inmeta. Thank you very much. Spectrum, you're going to need your hearing aids for this stream. They help you more with music than speech. I didn't even hear the music till you said something. You turned it up, dusting the cat hair off the floor. That's fair, Spectrum, to need to do that for sure. Yeah, definitely do what you need to make things more comfortable and things. But yeah, cat hair, it's almost like the cats are like, right, we'll put our cat hair everywhere. A barber in my neighborhood got caught selling drugs. I was so surprised. I've been going to him for years. I never knew he was a barber. Thank you for redeeming that, Dr. Darling, as an Arnie impression. Thank you. Hey there, Mr. Gote. Thank you for the welcome. Welcome to you as well. Just refresh my stream. It says the connection's unstable. So I've got the command for music only, and the original game's music was composed by Jason Graves. The most recent game that he did music for, I believe, was Still Wakes the Deep, one that I haven't played yet. But he's also done other games that I've played that I really enjoyed his music in, such as the Dark Pictures series by Supermassive. He's done all the music in those to date, even the new one that's coming out next year, Directive 8020. And one of my favorite scores that he's done is Tomb Raider, the 2013 reboot as well. So this is the original version. Sony owns the IP, so the recent remake that came out wasn't done by Supermassive, and they completely changed all the music. So it's not Jason Graves' music in the remake, it's someone else's. Mark Corbin does the music in the remake as well. So I definitely want to pay tribute to Jason's version of the music in the original Until Dawn. Sony got a different studio to do it, so Supermassive wasn't involved at all on the remake. But yeah, this is the original. The category was automatically set to the remake by default because obviously when there's a remake of something, Twitch prioritizes making the remake the category that the game picks up or your console picks up. So I had to change it. So it might still say that for some people it was the original, but there was the remake category. But I definitely want to make sure it's the original category as well, because I feel like that category needs some love, especially with the remake out. Dr. Darling, perfect playthrough since you can listen but not see. Absolutely, Dr. Darling, that's cool. That's awesome. So yeah, the original version by Supermassive Games, original score composed by Jason Graves. So to pay tribute to Jason's music, we'll have the sound effects and dialogue audio muted, listening to each piece of music in various contexts until it loops or stops. So that also means when characters die. So what I'll likely have to do with this playthrough is I'll have to use the chapter replay feature because there might be music related to individual characters dying, for all I know as well. So this phase will probably have multiple aspects to it. But what I think is best to do is just play through the narrative, getting whatever music I can, and making note of what things we trigger, what endings and all that kind of stuff. Or not really endings, but what happens to characters and stuff. And there's some links to Jason's music. There's the official website. There's also his YouTube channel, and there's also his IMDb link as well. But he also has like a Discord. He also has a lot of other websites there too. But they're the three that I was able to fit into the description message. Spectrum, oh, you didn't know they remade this? What were the changes? Oh, heaps, Spectrum. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely graphical changes. When the story starts, like when the characters return a year later after the tragedy that happens, in the original, it's already nighttime, whereas in the remake, they make it daytime, golden hour before the sun goes down. They've also changed the music, so none of Jason Graves' music is in it. All the songs are different too. So the Oh Death song that plays in this is completely changed. That's not in it anymore, and all that kind of stuff. Plus, there's some extra endings added. There's also references to the movie that came out recently. So yeah, the remake changes a lot of stuff, and the character on the screen here, Dr. Hill, in the movie and in the remake, has an extra layer to his story that I feel is completely ridiculous and flies in the face of the original version. Yeah, Spectrum. Yeah, by the same name, called Until Dawn. It came out, what was it, this year, I think, or last year? But yeah, I haven't seen it, but yeah, Sony owns the IP, so they can do what they want with it. But Supermassive, they only did the original, and then they did their own games of this kind, the Dark Pictures series, and they also did the Quarry as well. Okay, so that's the music that is on the loading screen. If we go into status and collectibles, there's actually different music for different tabs. So I'm going to mute myself and we're going to listen to each one. And then when it loops or stops, we'll switch to the next one. And then, if I need to catch up on chat, then I will between those sort of like loops and things like that. So let's go into the status and collectibles menu and listen to some of the music in those different tabs. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that music for that has looped. So we're going to switch to the butterfly effect tab because there's a different piece of music that will play when you actually go to that tab. All right, so I think it's well and truly looped. Spectrum, the music is really soft compared to my voice. There's definitely no worries for this playthrough, because unless I'm actually like talking, um, the music won't be heard anyway. Because usually in these playthroughs, I talk over the music if we've already heard it or it's already looped or whatnot as well. So yeah, if the music's soft compared to my voice when I'm talking, but how is it when I'm not talking? Is it still like a decent volume? Because I had to listen on my own broadcast and it seemed to be fine, but how is the music for everyone if I'm not talking? Spectrum, when you're not talking, you have to crank it up. Then when you talk, it's scary. I'll have a look at the audio options. I can turn the music up louder. That's as far as I can turn it up. So we'll see how that goes. How's that, Spectrum? Is it still the same? I see, Spectrum. Yeah, sorry about that. Because I've got it up as high as the music will go in the game's volume. Um, so that's the music for the butterfly effect tab, and we'll switch to the totems tab, which has different music to its for itself as well. Okay, so I think that has looped. Hey there, Lucinda. Good morning. Welcome. How did Dead Rising 2 Case West go? It went well. Final boss was annoying though. One of those final bosses where you also have other enemies that will interfere, and a range of enemies that have ranged attacks, but also ones that have melee attacks, attacks that can knock you to the ground, and then meanwhile another enemy comes along and can attack you, and the boss has these annoying moves. He can do this charge at you move, and if you get caught by it, he'll ram you into a wall or something, and then you have to do a QTE with the wiggling of the stick to to get your bearings again, and all this. It took probably 6 to 7 attempts to kill the guy as well, and yeah, it was really rage inducing. But I got both endings. The first ending I did really early in the stream because basically you just have to not do the mission in time, any mission really, and then you get that ending. And then I just did the rest of the playthrough to get the canon ending. But yeah, it was good to get it finished. But now I remember why I don't really play it that often. How's things going, Lucinda? How's your morning? Spectrum, you want your second cup of coffee, but it's still so early, you'd better wait. That's totally fair, Spectrum. Yeah, exactly, Lucinda. Yeah, ankle biters is a good way to put it when those enemies trying to defeat the boss, you know. Plus, of course, with that game, the enemy can get like invisibility frames during certain attacks and stuff. I was Spectrum, yeah, for sure. Was definitely nearly raging, absolutely. Hey there, Double Door. Welcome on in. Good morning. How's things? Listen, we all have that part in some games that we otherwise love. So true. You know, sometimes you just forget about it because you just remember the good things about it. And then when you get back to it, you get to that point in the game where you're like, oh, great. You know, this part of the game again. Sheila, welcome on in. Thank you so very much for your raid. Welcome on in, everyone. How is your stream of The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered? How's the achievement hunting going? Welcome on in, Sheila. Ahoy, Sheila. Welcome on in, dude. It's going really well. I finished off Dead Rising 2 Case West, so that's the overall Dead Rising 2 Phase 1 playthrough done. And now here we are with the original Until Dawn, doing the music-only playthrough. For those who don't know what that entails or haven't seen me do one of these, because I've done it with, I can't remember how many games now. um, but yeah, we're listening to the music until it loops or stops. So in those moments, I'll naturally not talk over it. It's also in gameplay too, so it's not just playing through the game normally. It's also triggering certain things. Most likely, I'll have to do chapter replays and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to make notes as I go through of what things I've managed to do, so that way, if there's different music for the alternative, then I can cover that too, as well. We're just currently going through the menu music. Because the last playthrough I did wasn't that long ago, and it was an all collectibles run, it means that I unlocked everything. But if I start a new game, all that gets wiped. So I wanted to cover the music for this stuff first. There's a video called Events of the Past as well, that if I was to start a new game, it would go away completely. So I want to make sure I caught the music for those now, instead of having to try and, you know, get it all again later. I mean, who knows, we might end up unlocking all of the totems. I'll definitely grab some, because like there'll be bits of music for it and all that kind of stuff. Sheila, thanks for the shout out. You're good. It went well. You died once and you're close to finish day 2 with Ellie. You just had to restart a chapter now once more because you have to get to work soon, so you prefer doing it next stream with enough time than rushing through it. So far you got all collectibles. That's really good progress, Sheila, to get all those collectibles as well. And that's really good too. And I don't blame you, you know, it's definitely good to do what you need to when you can, and just leave whatever you can for later, you know, instead of just rushing through. But that's really good. That is really good not to die more than once as well. That's awesome, Sheila. And no worries at all for the shout out, dude. Listen to all your raccoon family. Absolutely, hell yeah. All in. what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter into one of these totems and we'll get whatever music plays in that. And then once that's done, we'll play the events of the past video to get the music for that too. Alright, so there's no music for when you actually enter into it, but we'll see if there is if you press the button to do the replay of the premonition. No, there isn't. Okay, that's fair enough. So we'll go back and then we'll play the events of the past to get the music in that. Okay, so there we go. That is the music that plays in the events of the past video. As I was saying before, when you start a new like a new game, then every collectible that you got will be wiped off your collectibles list. I'm pretty sure anyway, but just in case, I wanted to cover that all now. And it's interesting too, when you actually do these kinds of playthroughs, you start to notice what sound effects are actually tied to the music track and not actually tied to the sound effects as well. Like the screech when the spirit of the Wendigo went flying towards camera, like that you would think would be a sound effect, not actually part of the music track. Sometimes you'll get dialogue even that is tied to the sound effects and vice versa, even though there's an individual volume for each particular one as well. So we've covered the main menu music on its own, we've covered the butterfly effect screen music, we've covered the totem screen music, and we've gone into the events of the past and actually done that. I just want to double check that there isn't any different music in the other collectible tabs. I think some of the other ones have the same music that plays. Spectrum, this music is louder. That's true, yeah. It's like when there's something very intense, that's when they're like, we need to make the music much louder in that part. Yeah, so we've already heard this music before. The same music covers the tabs of the Twins clues, the 1952 clues, and the Mystery Man clues. Then you have the different music in the totem screen, the events of the past video, and then the butterfly effect screen. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to actually start the gameplay, starting with a new start. There we go, so this confirms. Starting a new story will overwrite your current progress and access to the episode menu if unlocked. You will also lose any collectibles found and any changes related to character status. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, indeed. Just a note as well, sometimes before I start saying the next thing I want to say, I might actually just not say anything, just in case there's any kind of delay on the actual stream itself, because sometimes I've noticed when I'm actually streaming, when something happens for me in the game and I respond to it, it doesn't always mean that my voice is going to match what came out. So I like to make sure, or try as much as possible, that when I finish saying something, that I give a little extra pause and wait before doing something else or saying something else when there's like music involved in this playthrough. But yeah, let's jump into the actual gameplay. Alrighty then, so that is that music there. I was actually trying because when you have the character standing in certain spots, if you don't actually move, the game will switch to a close-up of that character's face. So I was trying to actually do that, but it also depends on what camera angle I think is already happening and where the player puts the character and all that kind of stuff. Hey there, Terry. Thank you so very much for the lurk. Muchly appreciated. And geez Louise, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you very much. And yeah, so I'm doing a music-only playthrough to pay tribute to the game's music. This is the original, Until Dawn. The new one that came out, the remake, they got someone else to do the music. So this is the original composer's work. And so there'll be moments where I don't actually like say anything over the top of the music, but if we hear music that loops and all that kind of stuff, then I will actually talk over that and stuff. Um, but yeah, we've already covered the main menu music. We also covered the status and collectibles music, the truth video, or it's not called the truth, but the events of the past video. Uh, from my previous playthrough, I already unlocked all of that, so we played that with just the music. But now that we've started a new story, of course, it's taken off um, those sorts of things as well. So we don't have any of the collectibles anymore that we did have. Same with the totems and the events of the past video. I mean, if we play it now, you just get static. Which I should actually check to see if there's any music, because I've currently got my own volume turned down for myself. Um, but yeah, I've been covering all that. And so there'll be a lot to it, because this is one of those games, obviously, where different outcomes can happen, different deaths. So I don't know how in-depth the music is. Like, I don't know if each individual character gets their own music in general when they die, or whether there's different music for each different way that they can die, and things like that too. So this first run through anyway will just be going through and trying as much as possible to cover all the music that I can, and taking notes as I go through, so that any characters that do die, I can make a note of the fact that we've already listened to their death music and make note if it was different and all that kind of stuff as well. But I can definitely do chapter replay if I need to as well. Okay, so this music is looping on itself. So we have different music when we go into the character info screen. And it makes me wonder too if the music changes only depending on the character you're playing as when you go into the screen, or if it also changes for each character as you go through. Which is one of the things with a music only playthrough, the different layers and all that kind of stuff. Because then you get into the nitty gritty of, okay, if I move the character too close to this object, does the music actually have something added to it when that happens, versus having the character stand away from it? Will different music play if the character is in a different state of mind than what they might be if you had made a different choice? You know, things like that. Hey there, Dex. Welcome on in. Happy Friday to you as well. Thank you so much for joining. Very interesting concept. Yeah, I've done it with quite a lot of games now. I've actually lost count. I've done it with at least 10 different games. You're doing well. Got into work early. Got a concert to go to later today. Good times. Oh, very nice, Dex. That's cool. Absolutely, that's great. Dex, I can't hear the dialogue. Fix your stream. It's understandable to think that there's something wrong with the game's audio, but yeah, with the music only on, the sound effects and dialogue, I turn them off because I find that music can have little bits of instrumentation that get covered up even by sound effects and dialogue and stuff. So I want to make the music purely be heard in all its glory, and even in the minute kind of differences and changes as well. Sometimes it's very difficult to do these types of playthroughs and get the music in full. Like, for example, in a boss fight, trying to not die and not actually defeat the boss too early before the music actually either loops or stops, you know, and getting the differences and stuff like that. So sometimes it can be hard with some games. In fact, you could probably create challenge runs using music only, where it's like, for example, you could do a playthrough where when you're in a boss fight, you can't actually defeat the boss until you've heard the music at least loop once or something like that. Things like that. Um, but yeah, there's just so many different things that they can do with music in games as well, which really makes them so dynamic, where you can have so many different things going on at once and different switches to different things and all that kind of stuff. Here we go. This is what I wanted to show. So because we had a different camera angle and we were able to put the character in a better position, if you don't actually move, the camera will go directly into a close-up look of the character. And when it does that, if you use the right control stick, you can actually move the character's head around. And that's the other trick when you're doing a playthrough like this, is sometimes there'll be no music, and so you think it's safe to actually talk, but then different music will play after like a long pause of probably like a minute or two as well. So that's going to be tricky because I don't like to talk over music in these playthroughs until we've actually heard it loop or stop. Um, and there's no real way to do like a reload checkpoint. Um, I mean, I could go new story again and then skip the opening cutscene as well. So that'll be something to keep an eye out for. But yeah, we'll go do new story and start again. Quick Dex, you never played this game normal, let alone the fun alternate runs. Very nice, Dex. Yeah, it's a good game, this one. Can't believe it came out 10 years ago. Okay, so I can't skip cutscenes. That's fair enough. I think what I should do is try and wait until something has been shown before I start talking about it, just in case the music comes across. Like, if there's no music happening in the gameplay, sort of like pause it first and then talk. Dex, it's on your quite extensive list. You heard it's a stellar narrative game. Yeah, it really is. It's a great sort of like callback to a lot of horror movies, slasher movies, and characters trapped in an isolated location with something on the outside trying to kill them, trying to survive, and all that kind of stuff. In fact, if Supermassive were to get the rights to it, I would love to see them do a Nightmare on Elm Street in this kind of style. Okay, so we've already heard this music because I'm restarting the game because there was music that we hadn't heard yet that I started talking over, not realizing it would play because there was like a pause of like, it felt like a minute or two of nothing. And we can't skip cutscenes. Alright, so we've heard that music before. Now it's stopped. But music will kick in again if we just wait a while. But I need to listen out to hear if it's actually the same music that we just heard but then stopped, or whether it's a different one as well. Hey there, Gorky. Welcome on in. Hope things are going well. So I think that was different music. I want to try and get every character's close up in gameplay when not actually moving as often as possible, because it also will depend on what's going on. Like, if there's something that is sinister happening and they're sort of like worried, then obviously that will be reflected on their expression as well. All great, Gorky. That's good. I'm glad to hear that things are going well. Welcome to my music only playthrough of Until Dawn. Now I want to check to see if there's even other music that plays once we get past this current pause in the music. Okay, so what I've been thinking, where Josh is currently slumped over, I forgot to actually interact with him first or that area first, just in case there was some music that plays when you do, and I triggered the next part. But instead of actually waiting till I've gone through the whole game and then, replaying it again and then covering this, what I may as well do is make full use of the restart, like the replay chapter function. Um, you can always replay the previous chapters that you've unlocked. However, let's say you did 3 chapters and then you went back into chapter 2 to make some changes. Obviously, if you decide to go in and replay chapter 2, then any different choices you make will override whatever you made in chapter 3 and all that kind of stuff. So if I do it as a chapter by chapter process, what I can do is I can do multiple runs through of each chapter and then cover anything I miss as well. Unfortunately, I can't skip cutscenes, so there will be some overlap and all that kind of stuff. But that's probably the best way to cover as much stuff as possible as well. So we'll keep playing this chapter until we, get to a certain point. And I've also thought the best thing with the choices of, do you do the thing that's on the left or the thing on the right? I'm going to stick to always choosing the left choice first when going through a chapter, and then once I've done the chapter and I replay it, then I'll choose the opposite choice as well. So that's probably the best way to go about doing it with the music only playthrough. Just want to wait and see if any new music plays without having made the choice yet. Alright, so this is the same music that played when this initially popped up as a choice. Hey there, Senny. Welcome on in, dude. Hope Until Dawn goes well with the music only. Thank you very, very much, Crooked. Really appreciate that. Thank you for leaving the lurk too. I hope that things are going well for you today. I'd like to highly recommend people check out Crocodile's channel if you haven't before. He's doing his second playthrough of Astrologaster, which is a really funny narrative game. It also is based in real history with a real historical person, and he's doing his second ever playthrough of that, and he's doing it as part of a historical order run of various different games across different genres and everything, and he's doing them all in timeline order. It's a quite a comprehensive list of games that he's doing. He started, I think it was last year, wasn't it, Crooked, when he started doing it? And he started with Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey, which was set billions upon billions of years ago, and he's going to be working his way through games up until the 1940s. So a very ambitious project, and he also gives like historical trivia and stuff as well. And for some games, he'll actually watch like a video on stream that relates to the location or the time period and all that kind of stuff. So a really cool streamer, so definitely recommend. And that's all good for the shout out, Senny. Absolutely no worries at all. It's going to be interesting with this playthrough because I'm sort of like figuring out as I go what approach to take. So it's going to be easier just to take it chapter by chapter. Once I finish a chapter, replay it, but make the different choices that I didn't make before and see how that goes. So that'll be interesting. But thank you so much for leaving the lurk, dude. Okay, so that's well and truly looped. Thank you so much again for the raid, Chiller. Thank you for leaving the lurk too, as well. I hope that work goes really well. Would like to highly recommend people check out Shitterlock's channel. He's doing a playthrough of The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. It's his first time playing any version of The Last of Us Part 2. He's doing an all achievements playthrough of that. He's also a fan of the Dark Pictures series of games by Supermassive, who also, of course, did the original Until Dawn. They didn't do the remake. He's also a fan of that series of games, and also Dead by Daylight and Assassin's Creed and the Mafia series. A great streamer, so definitely recommend. There was a choice that I forgot to stop and wait for the music to play on before actually deciding, because I was so distracted by the fact of doing the QTEs. I didn't actually think about the QTEs in terms of like how to cover them in this playthrough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try on the first pass through of each chapter to actually get all the QTEs successfully, and then if I manage to do that, then replay the chapter and then do all the and then fail all the QTEs to try and get the music that might play from failing as well. But I've made note of the choice that I didn't stop for the music, and when we go past this chapter again, I'll make sure that time around to actually select the right choice. So by that reckoning, I'll have to redo it twice, actually. Anyway, Lucinda, thank you so very much for being here. Definitely hope you have a great day at work. Time for you to get ready to leave for work. Not sure if you'd have time between music sequences, so saying goodbye now. Hope you have a great rest of your stream. Totally understandable for sure, Lucinda. Yeah, thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. I definitely will have a great rest of the stream. Would like to highly recommend people check out also Lucinda's channel. Lucinda is doing a playthrough for the first time of the game called The Altars. Is also a big fan of the Resident Evil series, and will also be doing Resident Evil 9, of course, when that comes out. Also a big fan of Dying Light. We'll be doing the Beast game, which is coming out soon too. Also a big fan of the Dishonored series, as well as The Last of Us, and has some really cool raccoon-themed emotes as well, both static ones and animated ones as well. And that's all good for the shout-out, Lucinda. Absolutely no trouble at all. I really hope that you have a good one. While that music was playing, I decided, fuck it, I know this is time-consuming, but I'm better off restarting from the start again to cover the music in that choice that I didn't wait for the music for. And then, hopefully, we'll remember as we go through this chapter to stop at every choice to listen to the music. So that's what I'm going to do. So I can't skip cutscenes, unfortunately. So we have to go through all this again. So apologies for this, but I want to make sure that I'm being methodical and thorough. But once I've gotten used to the pattern, it'll hopefully mean that I won't be forgetting. Because I think part of me is also just playing it like I normally would as well. So I was like, my mind was in like survival mode because it's like QTEs happening. Okay, press the QTE. But what am I doing with the QTEs for this music playthrough? What am I going to do with those? And then, and then it's like, well, stop at every choice. But then I went straight ahead and just chose left because I was just being quick and all that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, then it's like, do I get all collectibles again or not? I mean, there is a part of the game where Sam can't get to, depending on your choices, and you get locked out of it. So once you get to that point of the game, if you haven't made certain choices up until then, there's a whole area that Sam can't explore. I found out that the hard way on my first phase of celebrating this game's 15th anniversary. I did the all collectibles run. Now this time, I'll actually check on Josh first and everything before moving the character on to the next cutscene. Also, be right back. Alrighty then, I'm back. So we've heard this music before. Interact with this. There's no music, but I may as well interact with what I can to see if there's any music with it. Because there'll be some stuff that you collect later on that will have potentially different music because it might trigger an event to happen. Then we went over here and we checked on this. So I'll just wait till this music stops before interacting with where Josh is this time around. Alrighty then, so I went straight past him and triggered the cutscene that plays after this. So this time around, I need to make sure to interact with this instead. Hey there, Captain Sailcat. Welcome on in. I hope things are going well. I'm doing a music-only playthrough for the original Until Dawn. I really like the original's music, so I wanted to make sure that for its 10th anniversary I did a music-only playthrough. The music was composed by Jason Graves, and he did the Dark Pictures series of games as well. And I think the most recent game he did music for was Still Wakes the Deep, which I would like to play at some point too. But he also did Tomb Raider 2013 soundtrack, which I really like a lot. Also did a music-only playthrough for that a few years back. So yeah, that's why there's no dialogue or sound effects. Mr. Gote, you played Still Wakes. It's fun. Oh, that's good that it is, dude. Yeah, that's the one that's on the oil rig, isn't it? I just want to make sure I've got the right game. Because I think there's another similar, like not Subnautica. I know that's a different thing, but I think there was a third other game that's set underwater or something that's not Subnautica and not Still Wakes the Deep. Okay, so that's the one on the oil rig. I got you, dude. Yeah, I definitely want to play that one as well, for sure. Alright, so we've heard this music. Okay, so interacting with Josh will trigger this cutscene, and interacting with the door to the right of Josh will trigger this cutscene as well. So we've already covered this. Then there'll be the first choice of what to actually decide, what path to take. And I've already covered the music that plays if you just don't press anything straight away. Thankfully, when it comes to a lot of the choices, the game doesn't have a timer on it. So you can take as much time as you want to decide. So the first choice that pops up, we've already chosen the left choice. Now, even though I've restarted this chapter, I want to stick with the left choices of this because I want to stick with that. But once this chapter is actually finished and I replay it again, we'll choose the right options and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we already chose this option. We already waited for the music to play. There was one that I forgot to actually wait for the music for, so I'll make sure to cover that as well as we go through. Okay, so I've just realized that the music that plays with this choice is the same music that plays with the next choice. But that might not be the case for every single choice. So I want to make sure that I'm still stopping and waiting for a little bit. But yeah, we can actually choose the fast route again. Alright, so we've heard this music before. So when there's moments like this in the game, I'll definitely be stopping and waiting to hear the music in those instances too. Once we get through this chapter, I'll be restarting it again to make the opposite choices to what I have to cover any music differences that might happen as a result of that too. Cellcat, is the remaster a better choice to play than the OG? I haven't actually played the remake myself. I will eventually, but I'm going to leave that until next year or another time because I just want to focus on the original this year. But there's definitely more than just a change in I guess graphics and all that kind of stuff. Um, there's also narrative changes for certain aspects of the story because in the remake, which is tied to the movie that they did, there's a certain character that has things additionally added to their character that wasn't in the original vision of the character from the original game. But for the remake, they've applied it to that character. And they've also added an extra aspect to the story with the Wendigo in this game too. Um, there's also a lot of different changes with how things are sort of like done in terms of like the setups and stuff. Like there's a whole sequence with this character here, Hannah, where we basically do a don't move section with like a what is it, like a deer as well. So there's a lot of different changes. Plus, the entire music on the original is completely gone in the remake as well. They also make some artistic different choices that I feel like go against the original vision for this game artistically, and a lot of that's to do with the lighting choices. And there's a part of the story where the lighting is supposed to be dark and moody and at nighttime, but in the remake they've made it sort of like late in the afternoon daylight, which which I feel personally actually detracts from the original's intention artistically and stuff. But if you don't care about all that stuff and you more just want to play a version of the game that is more sort of like up to date in terms of like, graphics and all that kind of stuff, then there's definitely things in it that are similar to the original. It's a remake, Salcat, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a remake. Like all the actors are the same and all that kind of stuff. They didn't recast the roles or anything like that. Um, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of differences with the game that I would say classifies it as a remake and not a remaster as well. Sorry, it was Beth. I said Hannah, the other twin. Cellcat, you missed out on playing the PS3 version at the time. You had it in your hands at the store, but thought it was a sadistic sword type game. You're like, nah, you're good. Yeah, I mean, it definitely has those elements as well, for sure. And the thing about these kinds of games is like, and I get it, they're not for everyone, of course. But I feel like sometimes some people, when they criticize these games, and they're doing it from a place of wanting them not to exist, I think that's kind of a bit stupid. Like, I don't like turn-based games, but I'm not going to turn around and say that turn-based games should be taken out of video games at all, and all that kind of stuff. Um, so I feel like that can happen, and like if a game is intended to be something, then it's okay to criticize it for being that. But I don't feel like it's fair to want people who do actually enjoy these types of games to not have these games to play. I think that's a bit petty kind of thinking as well. Um, but yeah, you really need to be a fan of games that are like this as well, where the interaction is you walk around, you explore, you examine, you pick up stuff, and then you press buttons to make choices, and press QTEs and all that kind of stuff. So if you don't like QTEs at all, definitely these games would be so frustrating for you after a while because you'd be like, damn it, I wanted that outcome, but I didn't get the QTE right and all that kind of stuff as well. Hey there, Valianti. Welcome. Is it worth playing? You've never played it. Well, if you've I don't know if you've played any other games like this, like The Quarry, or the Dark Pictures series of games, or even games like Detroit Become Human, by Quantic Dream. If you've played those kinds of games, then I definitely do recommend it, especially too if you're a fan of horror stuff as well. Octavius, hello again, good sir. You're heading out. Oh, you started a new game. Awesome. That is true, yeah. Yeah, started a playthrough of Until Dawn, the original, to do a music-only playthrough. I finished off Dead Rising, Case West, so that playthrough is all done now as well. I hope things are going well, Octavius. Valianti, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. Heavy Rain, you played and you liked it. Oh, good. Yeah, so this is definitely one of those kinds of games. Dialogue choices, QTEs, exploring areas and picking up objects and stuff like that as well. Actually, that reminds me, something else that's different in the remake. With the totems in this game, when you find one, you just interact with it and then you turn it around and then boom, you've collected it. But in the remake, it's actually a mini game to unlock the premonition inside the totem, which, like, I get it, they wanted to make it different to the original, but having to do a mini game to access something that should be just so quick to access, I feel like is a bit of a dick move to do it that way. But yeah, in the original, once you find a totem, you just pick it up, hold the buttons that you need to, turn it around instantly, boom, you've unlocked it. Valianti, nice. Definitely going to download Until Dawn. Is it scary? Asking because you're afraid of literally everything. Lol. There's definitely jump scares. That's for sure. Um, but there's definitely moments that can be very suspenseful and also eerie and creepy as well. Captain Salcat is sort of scary. That's true. Yeah, yeah. You could definitely describe it as sort of scary. It's kind of hard for me to judge the intensity of whether something's scary, only because I don't get scared by horror movies or games. So when I play a horror game or watch a horror movie, I'm looking out for other things. And if those other things are done well, then that's something that will really affect me as well. So if a movie or a game has excellent music, or it has some really intense scenes and all that kind of stuff, then that's what I really judge it by. But yeah, in terms of like finding things scary, like I'll jump at some jump scares, but I feel like jump scares can be put into anything. Like you could literally have a comedy that has a jump scare. That's not even a horror scare. Like it could just be simply a character is doing something and then boom, some big giant sound happens, and makes them shake. Valianti, you're going to challenge yourself. Thank you for letting me know. Good info hype. Oh, no problem at all, Valianti. Yeah, best of luck with the game too when you play it as well. I hope that you can enjoy it too. That's all good, Valianti. Absolutely no trouble at all. I'll be doing this every Friday. This game. I do different games on different days, but I'm thinking next Thursday because I'm finishing off a Tomb Raider game next Wednesday. But instead of jumping into the next Tomb Raider game, I wanted to do something different on the Thursday. So I'll probably do two streams of this next week on Thursday and Friday. that kind of music is always tricky for me to work out when it either loops or stops. It sounded like it had stopped, but then as soon as I pressed the button to go to this screen, I could hear that it actually started again. This music is the same, we've already heard it. Salcat, the shadow on her mouth makes it look like she's missing a tooth. You know, pardon me, I didn't even actually notice that. By the time I saw your comment, Salcat, it had already passed by that point. But yeah, it's funny when that kind of stuff does happen, when shadows make a certain face or even textures of things look out of the ordinary. So in that choice there at the end, you can't change the fate of Hannah and Beth, unfortunately. There's no way to prevent either of them from falling. There's no way to prevent them from dying at all, because their fate is tied, of course, to what the story is actually about, and that's the catalyst event for the things that follow as well. But because there was actually a third choice, you could do the left option, the right option, or choose to do nothing. I'm going to have to do the first chapter over again as well. We haven't reached the point yet where we can actually redo chapters. And I just fucking remembered you can't do a redo of a chapter until you actually finish the game one way through. Damn, that's going to put a spanner in the works. Fuck. Maybe I should have not started a new story and just restarted the game from the first thing. Bloody hell. Um, what I might do is I might make this stream just doing the first chapter alone, and then do this game off stream so I can at least finish the game. So I'll do it that way. That's the best way to do it. Because the first chapter, of course, I can keep replaying it over and over again by just going to new story. But I'm not going to get to chapter 2 and then restart the story and have to redo chapter 1 all over again as well. So that's how I'll do it. So this stream will just be focused on getting the first chapter covered with all the different aspects of the story. And then maybe even the second chapter. I don't know. I've already been streaming for 2 hours. I might just make it that, actually. Damn it. I should have actually thought about that. Because I was thinking of covering the music in the different menus when I already had everything collected. And then I thought, oh, then I can just start a new story as well. So fuck. Anyway, this stream will be as long as it is. I would have liked to do a long one, but we'll just have to do a shorter one, unfortunately. So I'll stop it here and then restart the story, and then we'll do the other choices and see if there's any different music based on that. There might not be, but I've got to cover the bases just in case. And these cutscenes can't be skipped. Alright, we've already heard this music before. So I was choosing the choices that were on the left side of the screen. I'm now going to choose the choices that were on the right side of the screen. When we get to the point where the two characters, Beth and Hannah, will drop down, I'll choose do nothing. And then when I restart the chapter again, I'll choose to do the right choice. Alright, so we've already heard the music for this part. We'll trigger the next cutscene. So we've already listened to the music at this choice, and I chose the left option, but we're going to choose the right option now. Hey Keone, welcome on in. How's things? We've already heard the music here before. Because I have to do this a third time, I'll do the missing of QTEs the third time. Hey there, Arctic Smash. It's just a prank, Han. Yeah, the way that Emily says that, very condescending, and yeah. It's just a prank, Han. She thinks that by calling her by her nickname is going to actually make it better. How's things, Arctic? Welcome on in. Arctic, Emily must die. Well, in this playthrough, we're probably going to see everyone's deaths, at least once. Oh, that's a shame, Arctic. Sorry to hear that you're sick. I really hope you get better soon. Hopefully it'll be a quick recovery. As for me, I'm doing well, dude. I finished off my Dead Rising 2 playthroughs for now. That was just phase 1 of its 15th anniversary. But now doing a playthrough of this again to do a music-only run. It must have been the wind, Keone. And the snow. It was the Windigo. Arctic, a little shame we can't join the climbing competition. Other than that, it's okay. That really does suck. It's really annoying when things time out like that too as well. You know, of course you'd have to get sick. Like, getting sick at all is obviously not desirable. But to add salt into the wound, to actually get sick and for it to be timed when there's something else that you'd love to do. Keone Lol Windigo. Nice one, Roy. Thank you. Thank you. Something else that I didn't think about in the context of this music only playthrough as well, and also choices, is that when I chose all the choices on the left side of the screen, we didn't get to this choice here where we had to follow the shadow or follow the footprints. So, because we've chosen the dialogue choice, not the dialogue choices, the actions on the right side of the screen, it's led to this different juncture that we didn't have before. So when I do the third pass through of this chapter, I'm also going to have to choose the right option to get this option again. So we're going to choose the left option. And then when I do the chapter again and we get to this choice again, I'll choose the right option. It's such a rabbit warren. Already heard the music here before. Alright, so next up we're going to choose the do nothing choice when Hannah and Beth are hanging by the edge of the cliff. And then when I do the next pass through this chapter, we'll choose the right option. As in the option on the right side of the screen. Alrighty then, so we covered those choices. Now I need to actually restart the game again. Alright, so The way the game works is like this. So you need to finish the game to get the option to do chapter select. When you actually do chapter select, whichever chapter you decide to go back into, because you might wanted to do a different choice, once you make those different choices, the game won't automatically quote unquote edit the other chapters afterwards to match what you changed. You literally have to also keep playing the game from that point on. With this playthrough with the music approach, because I wanted to cover the music in the menus, and because I had already done a playthrough a few months ago where I got everything collected, it meant that I unlocked everything. So I wanted to cover that in the music. So I thought, before I start the game from the start, I'll cover those music bits in those tabs and also in the events of the past video. Forgetting, of course, that starting the game from scratch means that I can't do chapter select until I play through the game again. So after this stream is finished, I'm going to just keep on playing through the game until I get through it. And then next Thursday, because I'll be doing a stream of this on Thursday and Friday next week, then next Thursday I'll continue and be able to go into each chapter and that. But I might even have to do that multiple times yet, so we'll just have to wait and see. It might have to be a thing where after every single stream I play through the game again to get all the chapters unlocked. It's much easier in the Dark Pictures series of games because when you finish the game, you can go in and replay a chapter, and then you can apply a different save to those changes that you made. So if you want to go into other chapters, you can do it that way without having to play through the game again. So just to recap as well. So we've been choosing all the choices that are on the left side of the screen. Covered the music at every point where the game gives you an option to choose something until it either looped or stopped. I managed to get the QTEs done to keep the music going just in case messing up a QTE changes the music slightly. So we've already gotten all the QTEs, and we've chosen all the choices on the left side of the screen. But now there's a choice in choosing the right side that means we now have to do that again as well. So it's just like, ugh. But anyway, let's take it one bit at a time. Seems it's quicker just to interact with Josh. Or the bottle, I mean. There we go. No? Okay. That's right. The quickest way was just to go to this door. But then, oh, I see now. If you look at this when you're on the other side of the bench, the game then just lets you walk past this point and go to the double doors. But because I haven't interacted with the note, the game wants you to interact with the note, of course, because it's part of the narrative. They want you to know this part. Hey there, Zomb. Hope things are going well. Right. What's that in response to? Oh, I see, Zombie. Yeah, the choice is on the right side of the screen. Yeah, really dumb joke. No, that's all right. That's a good one. That's a good one. Zom, but you excel at making dumb jokes. Do you use Excel? I'm doing well, thank you, Zomb. Having a good Friday. I finished off my Dead Rising 2 playthrough, and now starting this one today. How's things going with you, Zomb? Do you like the original soundtrack in Until Dawn? I do, for sure, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, it's a great soundtrack, and Jason Graves, who did the music, does an amazing job. One of the other games that he did the music for that I really like a lot is the 2013 Tomb Raider reboot. He did the music for that as well. But he's also done the music in the Dark Pictures series, even the new one that's coming out next year as well. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so last time we chose the right choice on the screen, which then led to a different couple of choices that we didn't get if we chose the left side of the screen. Alright, so last time we chose the left side of the screen for this choice. This time we'll choose the right side of the screen. Actually, it's funny because that choice that we just made, it still worked out well because I chose the choice on the right side of the screen, which we didn't choose last time. But it's this choice that we have to make sure I choose the right side on the screen this time. So really, this playthrough, not only will it be a music-only playthrough, it's also turning into, I guess, a show all the different outcomes for every single individual choice you make in the game kind of playthrough as well. So we chose do nothing last time. This time we're going to choose the option that's on the right side of the screen. And I've already messed up the QTEs, whereas before we had gotten them. What I might do too in this stream is also cover all the first interview with the psychologist part of the game. Alright, so that is now that portion done, covering the music and any potential differences in the music. This part here where we first speak to Dr. Hill, I'm going to include that in this stream, but I'm really going to need to play through the whole game to be able to get the ability to do chapter replays moving forward. So it'll be best if I just have this stream be, even though it's going to be a short one, have it be something that covers a very distinctive aspect of the story as well. And so now we've reached this first interview part. I've already let the music that's playing in his office play before picking up the picture that he gives us to pick up. So we've already heard all that part. So I'll just continue on from that and cover all the music differences in this first interview with Dr. Hill. Zom, based on quantity of games you enjoy that a single composer has worked on, you'd say your favorite game composer is John Paisano, who composed the music for Insomniac's Spider-Man 2018 and Marcus's soundtrack in Detroit Become Human. That is so cool, Zomb. I haven't played the Spider-Man game, but definitely played Detroit Become Human a few times now, and Marcus is my favorite character, and the game's music overall is really, really great. It was actually cool that they had three different composers do music for each of the three characters. I thought that was quite clever as well. But yeah, the entire soundtrack of Detroit Become Human is great, but his work obviously also is good too, so that's cool. All right, so we're going to choose all the choices that are on the left side of the screen. All right. So choosing all the left side of the screen options in that part, there was no change in the music. So I'm going to take a gamble and guess that choosing the options on the right side of the screen is not going to actually make any difference with that. So what we're going to do before I end the stream is we're going to let all the cutscenes that are about to play. We're going to be able to hear the amazing song "Oh Death," or at least the rendition that was done in this, which isn't in the remake. They couldn't get the rights to that music. Whereas with Jason Graves' soundtrack from the original, I think it was more a case of they wanted to go in a different direction with the remake's music, so they hired someone else instead. But anyway, I'm not going to worry about restarting the game to cover the choices on the right side of the screen with the doctor interview. That might change as we go through the game in the different interview sections with him. But for this one, we're just going to resume and keep on going. But when we get to the point where we actually get control of the characters again, that's when I'll be calling it a stream. All right, so it would seem that this is just ambient wind and all that kind of stuff. This is actually where I'm going to call it a stream. But before I do that, though, I want to catch up on chat, and we're going to go and raid out to Zamaxi again. He's doing a playthrough of Alien Isolation, and he's doing a playthrough where one of the aspects to get all the trophies is to get through the game without dying. So we'll go and raid out to him. But before we do that, I'll catch up with chat and then give some shout outs. Thank you, Inmita, for leaving the lurk. I really appreciate it, dude. That's true, Salcat. Yeah, Peter Stormare is in the remake. Yeah, he's in the remake for sure. Yeah, all the actors from the original, they're in the remake, and I think there was even some extra, like Hayden, who plays Sam. I think they got her to come back in to do some extra stuff for the remake because there's more for her character in it. Zom, the Chemist version, and even the Barbershop Quartet version of this song is better. I like those two, for sure. Yeah, I like those two as well. For me, though, this one's the better one. But those two are good as well. Arctic, when I pause, it scares you. Yeah, every time you pause in this game, there's like a jump scare stinger that plays like, Durr. It's almost like the Law and Order, dun dun, whenever they do that. Oh, thank you, Zom, for doing that. You put the soundtrack for Spider-Man 2018 in one of the Marcus soundtracks. Thank you for doing that in the Discord, Zom. Thank you very much. Selcat, you always recognize the actor that plays Josh in this game from Night at the Museum. You think he plays King Tut in that one? That is true, Selcat. That was actually the first thing I saw Rami Malek in, was one of those movies. I saw the first two, but I didn't see the third one, though. That's okay for the stream, Keone. Absolutely no worries at all. So this stream would have been a bit longer if I had remembered that starting again from scratch also meant you can't chapter reselect as well. But we covered all the music in the prologue with all the differences and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty good for a first stream. And what I'll do between streams is finish the game off stream, and then that way I can go back into chapters in the next stream of this game, which will be next Thursday. Would like to definitely recommend people check out the following streamers: Arctic Smash, who does a lot of PUBG Battlegrounds, Captain Sailcat, who plays through games like the Dark Pictures anthology House of Ashes by Supermassive, Crooked Toad, who's been doing a playthrough of Gears of War Reloaded, which is the recent, I guess, remake of the first Gears of War. Inmita is doing a playthrough of Assassin's Creed Unity. Crocodiles is playing through the game called Astralagaster. Lucinda is doing a playthrough of The Altars. Mr. Gote is a streamer of games like Banishers Ghost of New Eden. And Shillerlock is doing The Last of Us Part 2 for the first time. He's doing the remastered version and he's getting all the achievements in that. So definitely recommend checking out those streamers if you haven't before. No worries at all for the stream, Keone. No trouble at all. So I'm glad you think it actually was just the wind this time. It really was just the wind. Yes, indeed. That's okay, Cellcat, for the shout out. No worries at all. And same to you as well, Arctic. No problem at all for the shout out. I really hope that you get better soon too, dude, as well. This is the current schedule. So Saturday through to Tuesday is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. If you see me streaming Assassin's Creed Odyssey, then you know it's become Saturday. That's the next stream. Wednesday, I'll be finishing off Tomb Raider, The Angel of Darkness. I'm going to change the schedule to say that Thursday will be Until Dawn, because it'll be a good opportunity to make up for the lost time that I would have done in today's stream, and also gives me something I can stream on the Thursday, because I don't want to jump into the next Tomb Raider game I've got lined up on Thursday. I'd rather wait till the following week. But yeah, Wednesday will be Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness, and then Thursday and Friday next week will be this version of Until Dawn. Thank you once again, everyone, for watching. I really do appreciate it. Here's a general raid message that everyone can feel free to copy and paste, and I'll also put one in chat for subscribers as well. Zom Stormare was the most recognizable actor in this. However, you thought you recognized another one as well, and it turns out you were right. One of the actors was also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That is true, Zom. Yeah, I can't remember the actor's name, but he plays Mike in this game. He was the one at the start that the prank was. Well, I mean, they were all involved, but they played on the fact that that Hannah had feelings for Mike, and so they set up that unfortunate prank. That's okay for the stream, Zomb. Absolutely no worries at all. I hope that you have a great rest of your day too. Thank you so very much. Thank you once again, everyone, for watching the stream. Between streams of this, between ending today and then the next stream on Thursday, I'll play through the game offline so I can get chapter select sorted. What I might even do is do some double checking about stuff as well related to that. But anyway, hope everyone has a great rest of your Friday. Thank you for watching this stream, and I'll catch you in the next one.